Good evening, it's 11th June 2025. I am Abdirizak Ali and welcome to Dalsan English News Bulletin. We have prepared a lot for you, but first, let's have a look at the headlines. Southwest State has a new president, with Lower House Speaker Sheikh Adan Mohamed Nur Madobe securing a decisive victory in Baidoa. Security remains a primary concern in the country's south, as military sources report that a suspected airstrike targeted Al-Shabaab positions on the outskirts of Baidoa overnight. In the capital, the government is intensifying efforts to modernize the national security apparatus, as senior police and military commanders have intensified the Taksom Military Academy to assess training capacities. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has arrived in Johar earlier today to officially inaugurate newly constructed roads and regional government offices. Welcome back. Now, Southwest State has a new president, with Lower House Speaker Sheikh Adan Mohamed Nur Madobe securing a decisive victory in Baidoa. The election concluded following a withdrawal of his primary challenger, who cited a concern over the integrity of the process. Despite that controversy, the vote proceeded, marking a significant shift in the regional political landscape of one of Somalia's most critical federal member states. Our reporter Mohamed Saido has more on this.
Somalia's Lower House Speaker Sheikh Adan Mohamed Nur Madobe won the regional presidency in Baidoa on Wednesday. He secured 88 votes from members of the Southwest Parliament, but the election took a dramatic turn just before voting began. Former Southwest President Sharif Hassan Sheikh Adan, seen as Madobe's strongest challenger, suddenly pulled out of the race. He accused election officials of breaking key agreements. According to Sharif, candidates had anonymously agreed that lawmakers will not be allowed to carry mobile phones into the voting hall. The goal was to protect the secrecy of the ballot and prevent outside interference. He claims that agreement was violated, leaving him with no confidence in the entire process. Despite the controversy, the vote went ahead. The results were a landslide. Madobe's only remaining rival, Abdirizak Mohammed Sheikh Osman Jawari, received just one vote. One ballot was ruled invalid. The victory now sets up a major political shift. Under Somalia's newly amended federal constitution, Madobe is expected to step down as Speaker of the House of the People. Holding both positions simultaneously is not permitted. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud congratulated the new leader, urging him to focus on unity and development. Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre also welcomed the outcome, calling it a sign of progress in Somalia's evolving federal system. Southwest State has a new leader, but questions raised over the election process are likely to linger, casting a shadow over this new political chapter. Mohamed Saido, Dalsan English.
Now, looking ahead to the national political calendar, attention is shifting to Hirshabelle State. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has arrived in Johar earlier today, as the visit is widely seen as a strategic move to rally support and oversee preparations for the federal government's ambitious one-person, one-vote electoral initiative. The president has officially inaugurated newly constructed roads and regional government offices. Now, elsewhere, security remains a primary concern in the country's south, as military sources report that a suspected airstrike targeted Al-Shabaab positions on the outskirts of Baidoa overnight. While officials are currently assessing the impact, there has been no official confirmation of casualties from the operation. Our reporter Amina Mualim Yusuf has more on this.
A suspected airstrike has hit the outskirts of Baidoa, targeting Al-Shabaab fighters. Security sources confirm the overnight operation struck a location where militants were believed to be gathering just outside the city. Officials familiar with the strike tell local media that there were casualties. Some militants are reported to have been killed, while others sustained injuries. However, no official figures have been released, and the Somali government has not commented on the operation. International security partners also remain silent on the incident. The reported airstrike comes at a moment of heightened tension around this strategic city. Security sources say war plans moved in after unusually militant movements were detected in the area. Baidoa has seen increased military activity in recent days as government forces continue their push against Al-Shabaab strongholds across the Bai and Bakol regions. Now, here is the context that makes this strike even more significant. It happened just one day after a major political transition in Southwest State. Lawmakers in Baidoa elected Sheikh Adan Mohamed Noor, widely known as Adan Madowe, as the region's new president. He replaces Abdirizak Hassan Mohamed Laftagaren. The timing of this military action is likely to draw sharp attention as the region navigates both a persistent security threat and a new political leadership. Baidoa remains a key frontline city in Somalia's long fight against the militant group, but for now, details surrounding the airstrike are still limited. Independent verification of the reported casualties has not been possible. Dalsan English will continue to follow this story as more information becomes available.
Now, in the capital, the government is intensifying efforts to modernize the national security apparatus. Senior police and military commanders have visited Taksom Military Academy to assess the training capacities. The visit underscores a concerted push to improve coordinated and operational readiness among federal forces as the campaign against the militant group Al-Shabaab continues across multiple fronts. Taksom, one of the country's largest military training facilities, has played a central role in preparing Somali security forces in recent years. Officials say strengthening training and cooperation between security agencies remains a key component of Somalia's long-term security strategy. And finally, in the world of sports, international referee Omar Artan has returned to Mogadishu. His arrival follows a reported prolonged travel delay in Miami that has drawn widespread public concern across Somalia's sporting community.
Somali international referee Omar Abdulqadir Artan has received a hero's welcome in Mogadishu just days after being blocked from entering the United States. Mr. Artan landed at Aden Ade International Airport where hundreds of well-wishers, government officials and representatives from the Somali Football Federations gathered to receive him. The referee was originally scheduled to officiate at the World Cup in the United States. He would have been the first Somali to serve as a referee in a World Cup final. However, on Monday, he was removed from the list after being denied entry at Miami International Airport. According to officials, Mr. Artan held the correct documents and a valid visa. He told reporters that he underwent an 11-hour travel interview before the decision was made. No official reason for the denial has been given by U.S. immigration authorities. However, Somalia is among several countries included in a travel restriction list issued by President Donald Trump's administration. Despite this major setback, the reception in Mogadishu was nothing short of triumphant. Social media footage shows Mr. Artan shaking hands and greeting crowds who lined up to show their support. Residents told Dalsan that his return is a moment of national pride. For many Somalis, Omar Abdulqadir Artan remains a symbol of professional excellence against all odds.
Now that is the latest from our news desks. For more of our stories, visit our social media platforms at Dalsan English. Join us again for our next bulletin. Until then, have a lovely evening.